Hey guys, it's Max. How's everyone doing? Let's have an end of day update. We'll look at Defiance, YieldMax, then we'll look at meme trades, and we'll look at the $1 million baby. Even we'll look at the what's it called, the super Maga or Dark Maga, whatever I called it, and we'll also look at the $1 million baby. See how those are going. And then we can also look at Max's volatility model, which is just about to probably be bullish by the morning. Unfortunately, it should have been bullish a week ago, right? All right, that's another story. All right, WDT. All right, these managers sold options at the 58.22 level for $15, a little bit more. For some reason, I don't have any idea why SPX quotes are not working. Really, nothing's working on this one. That aggravates me. But anyway, we could just do this old-fashioned way. We sold the 58.22. The market closed. The number should be up there, but it isn't. We'll go look at another service. Go look at a charting service. 58.22. The market closed at like 58.50 or something. 58, whatever. There it is. 58.59. So we're fine. So that's out of the money. So whenever these numbers do start working, that'll say zero right. That'll say zero right there. All right, Triple QY, which is the NASDAQ version of the same fund based on the NDX, NASDAQ 100. These guys sold 105 options at the 20,300 level. Market is trading or finished trading at 20,400 and change. So that's out of the money for us, which is great. So we made the whole $700,000 we were going for, 766 to be exact, up $1 on the month. That's great. Killing it. 120,000 a day is what we're making. 45 cents is the dividend estimate. Killing it. All right, IWMY. All right, the managers for these funds, they write options on the Russell, the RUT, the RUT. They wrote 624 puts on the RUT, 22 at the 22.38 strike. Well, the market closed around 22.48, so it's out of the money since we wrote the puts. We're in good shape. Full profit, $500,000. Running total for the month is 28 cents a share. We'll take it. Dividend estimate is 53 cents a share. We will also take that one. USOY. They have the 78 strike option sold for $2.44. Right now, at this point in time, their dividend estimate is let me make sure it's current. I mean, there's no way it's going to pay 218. Disregard that. Something's broken. Something's broken. I'll look at that. I'll look at that. We do know $88. I'm trying to see on here. Well, I need to check that because that's way too high. It'd be nice if they did. These guys have been on fire. Look at all these wins they've had versus losses. Wins and losses don't matter as much as the volatility they're able to capture. Well, to be honest, that's been high too. So I do think their dividend is going to be high, but it's not going to be that high. Let me work on that. Okay. My apologies on that. Let's slide on over here to the YieldMax part of the report. All right. So here's the call spread. So these are the stocks that are taking advantage of the call spread. So we have a chart that we can kind of look at that graphically. It's called the triple threat. Now, we have two of them, though. We have a duplicate down here somehow. Sorry about that. But Coney's obviously having a hell of a day. The blue line is how close the call spread is to being in the money. The ones that are bigger call, further, that means they're a little bit further out of the money. These ones that are on top of the line, it means they're already in the money. And so that's Coney's in the money. It looks like Coney's the only one that's in the money, but there's other stocks that are doing good. You don't have to be in the money. You can be close. NVIDIA is also, and Sky is also killing it. Look at this, MSFO beating the parent, as is TSMY, as is TSLY. We got 3 beating the parents today. I don't think we've had 3 Menendez brothers in one day in a while, have we? Man, that's there we go though. There we go. All right, so let's look at the index buffer report. Let's see who's doing the best in index land. Notice I have T-SPY on here, but for some reason it. Anyway, I'm trying to put it on here. Sorry if you're watching it. He's probably already unsubscribed. He's like this guy right here. Nah, I'm done with this guy. Anyway, all right. So see, SPY-T get you a lot of upside. Look at ZIVB killing it. The short vol fund. SVOL doing all right, but KQQQ, the Howard Chan fund. We need to get Howard back on. ULTY doing well. YBTC doing all right, but Maxi getting more than Beto's upside. Maxi's upside is beating Beto's. And that usually doesn't happen. But that's a nice job. It's a very nice job. All right, so let's look. What else do we have to look at? What about the single stock buffer report? We should have seen a lot of these in the triple threat, but let's just see what else we have to look at here. Some reason it looks like YBTC is not working, but yeah, MSFO outperforming the parent, OARC outperforming the parent, ULTY outperforming the parent, TSLY outperforming the parent, ABNY outperforming the parent. We can thank the call spread that this is happening. This is going to be a more frequent occurrence. Call spreads aren't magic. They won't outperform the parent by itself. You also need the market to go up. But in markets that go up, like we're in right now, they should have favorable results. So that's very good to see. Very good to see. All right, so now what are we going to talk about? So political meme trades. All right, if you haven't done the Uber MAGA trade, the DJT's moved up so far. I think it's probably better at this point to hold off and not go long DJT anymore, no matter how big of a fan you are. Tactically, it's kind of the way odds work or whatever. It's kind of the way the market works. So, not that it couldn't go further, but at this point, I think there's a pretty good chance of a pullback. I mean, I don't have any idea, but of course, but this trade right here is still a very interesting trade. If somebody that's still a Trump, you could still be a Trump fan. This trade right here can make more money if DJT goes up another 37%. In fact, that's what you're aiming for. You're aiming for 40%. So it can make more money if DJT keeps going up. What you're trying to do is get in here to the day after the election and try to have DJT between like 30 and 70. And, you made $100 on about $85 worth of risk. But at this point, I like this one, even if you're a DJT fan or even if you aren't, because the DJT can even go back a little bit. But so this is the new MAGA Curious trade. All right, MAGA Curious. Now we also have a We also have a bearish DJT, which is down $192. We put this on when the price was at like 15. We just didn't want it to go above 25. And what happened? It went to 30. But now that we're at 30, a trade like this could the same trade could be attractive. Check this out. It's called a broken wing butterfly. Something like that. Risk almost $600. Even if DJT goes to zero, you make $135. So let's see what return that is. Well, profit loss of percent risk. Yeah, so you make a 24% return if DJT goes to zero. So this would be a bearish DJT trade. But at the same token, DJT could go up to 34 and you would actually make a little more money, and could even go up more as long as it didn't go over about 40. So anyway, I'm going to put this one on. This one expires after the election. We're going to save this as bearish DJT anti-MAGA. This is a bearish broken wing butterfly. The thing that's really fascinating about these trades is there's tons of liquidity, and you can do this for a credit. You're selling this 34 strike call twice, but you're buying the 45 strike call once, and then this 30 strike call once. There should be, if you do it right, there should be $1.35 credit left over. This is a decent trade because you make $135 if the market goes nowhere, or in this, if DJT goes nowhere or down, So if you aren't a believer in the Trump phenomenon or whatever, this would be one way. This would be one way to play it. But even if you are a believer in the phenomenon and you think that hell, DJT's just got ahead of itself, it's too high. Even if Trump does win, it probably won't go much higher or whatever. This could be a great trade because you actually make a little bit more money if you could get DJT to go to 34, 35 by election day. All right. So that trade will be in the comments. So to review, we have the bearish DJT and then we have I'm calling it MAGA curious, but it's but yes, it's this spread right here. But this isn't a terrible way to play, especially even if you're bullish on Trump. I've showed this before, but if let's say DJT keeps short squeezing up because Trump wins the election, let's say it goes to 60. I don't think it's going to go there on less volatility. I think it's going to go there on heightened volatility because there's going to be all kinds of controversy and stuff. So if the controversy is heightened, you'll make 400% of your money back at 60 instead of, you make 172. You make about a 72% bonus on your money with vol like it is. But if vol pops, it could be a lot more. And also if vol pops, it makes your break even more favorable. And that's really kind of what we're playing for in this trade. That's why even if you're pro-Trump and think that it might go to 100, this trade might work for you, because if it does go to 100, I'm saying it's going to be like double volatility. So going to 100 will still make it, it's $100, be $100 winner on $85 or $75 worth of risk. Anyway, I hope you guys like those trades. So new MAGA curious. I need to think of a different name for it. So we're just going to call this bullish MAGA with capped capped upside. Okay, so now let's look at the $1 million baby. So we're just going to go here and get a long put with the SPY. I had a commenter notice I recommended a put spread in the SPX. Well, and he tried to do it in the SPY, but it didn't work the same way. Well, prices are different. Put prices are different in the SPY because the SPY pays a dividend, pays 1.3, 1.4% a year. But that, even though that's not very much, that is in the price of the put. So my strategy with the SPX puts, I was getting more favorable pricing in the SPX because it didn't have the dividend in there. So anyway, he figured it out, or I mean, he asked me about it. I think it's probably the dividend. But let's say this: don't worry about SPX. SPX is huge. Let's say you just have a $250,000 account. Let's try to hedge a $250,000 account. So what I do, the first thing I do is figure out what I'm willing to give up. You usually have to be willing to give something up. So the SPY is trading around 585. So let's say we give up, let's say we're willing to give up 5%, and you pretty much have to be, or you have to be willing to give up something. But so if you're willing to give up 5%, that means we could get a 555 strike. Now, okay, so now you would need 5 of these. We don't need to worry about the spread. The spread has some advantages. I'll show you some other time. But for a lot of people don't have a high enough level of option approval on their account to do spread. So you could also do something like this and it would protect you for the rest of the year. But we need to remember to change the date to December 31st. Okay. So here we have it. So here's 5% down on, yeah, there's 10% down. $20 down is $40,000. All right, so let's do this. Oh, there's already 5 of those contracts in there. No wonder. Okay. All right. Well, that makes more sense. So, oh yeah, okay, because it's a $250,000 account. That's right. $250,000 account. So $250,000 account's down 20%. You need to replace 50,000. This replaces 40,000. The difference is because of the amount that you give up. This gets most of your money back. All right. If the market crashes 30% between now and New Year's Eve, your $250,000 account is down $75,000. You have about 69,000 of it back. So this right here, we're going to call this the $250,000 baby. Back to editor. Let's look at it on the Qs as well. So let me show you how I did that. So on option strat, first you move the date to December 31st, but then the dotted line is where we are now. So I'm just moving to the left, which is down in stock price 5%. And then I'm seeing what number we're at. We're at 473. So that would be about a price of 473. So let's see what the 475 put does. Okay, and for a $250,000 account, this is on the Qs, but for a $250,000 account, we're going to need about 5 of these also. All right, so $250,000 account's down 20%. That means it needs to replace $50,000. this spread replaces 33,000. The difference being because of the amount you give up. All right, so it costs $4,600 to insure $250,000. So that would be about 17% on $1 million. That's kind of expensive. Or that is expensive. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it's expensive because volatility's checked lately. Here's why it's expensive, because VIX is going through the roof. The past couple of days, yes, it's come down, but in general, since we've been since late September, we've been going up at a 45-degree angle, if not more. So we'll see, though. That looks like that's changing. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the $250,000 NASDAQ edition. All right, so I'll have that trade in the comments as well. Then also, so the pro MAGA trade we've had on for a while that I'm using as a proxy for the election, it's been on for like 3 weeks. It's up $1,000 today total. And it just hit right on its target. That's a pro MAGA one, the ultra MAGA trade that we've been following. So anyway, it's obviously very good for Trump, and you can see it in poly market as well too. He's up by 10. He was up by 11 yesterday, but he's killing her right now. He's up by what's that equal? 5 on predicted, which is a competing service. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on these spreads. Right now, it looks like the Hooper Bull. I didn't do this. I wish I would have. I hope one of you guys did this. Less than $400 risk, and there's a chance it may not be over yet. I mean, this thing could do 40 or 50. I mean, you never know, or it could short squeeze higher than that. But at 50, this trade's worth $2,500, and it doesn't expire till November 15th. That's about a month away. Anyway, it should be a volatile month. It should be fun to see what happens. All right, let me know what you guys think. I'll put the new MAGA Curious trade in there, or the new trade in there. I'll put all the new trades in there. All right, leave me a note in the comments if you want to ask me a question. All right, guys, take her easy.